Hello and good evening. My name is Carlos Olivas and I am in 8th grade. I would like to start off with a diary entry from Anne Frank. This quote really moved me because it is a thought-provoking piece of writing from a teenager just like me. Who has made us Jews different from all other people? Who has allowed us to suffer so terribly up till now? It is God that made us as we are, but it will be God too who will raise us up again. If we bear all this suffering and if there are still Jews left when it is over, then Jews, instead of being doomed, will be held up as an example. Who knows, it might even be our religion from which the world and all people learn good. And for that reason only do we have to suffer now. Tonight I am going to tell you how the Holocaust has changed me and how I have learned good from Anne. This year I went to Europe. In Amsterdam, our group visited the Anne Frank house. It was important for me to be there. I didn't just study about this in a book in the classroom or watch a movie. I, Carlos Olivas, from the west side of Denver, stood in a room where she wrote her diary that so many people have read. We have a record of one person's life in hiding, and I was in her hiding place where she wrote this. It was very moving. From this, I learned that one person could make a difference. She didn't know she was going to be famous, as she wrote. She hoped that she somehow could touch the future, but she certainly wasn't thinking of me when she wrote that. Yet, she has touched me in so many ways. I still can't believe that I was in her room. Twice I have traveled to Washington, D.C., and have seen the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum. I saw the videos of when the camps were liberated, and all the prisoners were so happy you could see the joy in their eyes and in their facial expressions. I also saw the bewildered expressions at having survived. This made me feel happy and sad at the same time. Happy to know that some people survived to tell what happened, and sad to know that there are so many lives I will never know about. I will always remember the feelings I had seeing the eyes of these survivors. Miss Olson said we would meet another survivor this year. I can't wait to meet him. Learning about the Holocaust has taught me many good things about life. One thing I have learned is to not be a bystander. When Hitler came to power, many people did nothing to stop him. Even though they thought he was crazy, they didn't speak up. Even though they began to see him do things that were unjust, they didn't say anything. They didn't stand up for their neighbors and friends. Imagine how that would have felt to have your friend watch you being hurt and not say anything. I am now more inspired not to be a bystander. When I see something hurtful being done to another, I now know I need to say something to stop the hate. Second, I learned not to be a victim of propaganda. I saw how the Nazis used propaganda to get people to believe their lies. They convinced people to not think for themselves but to believe that all Jews were bad. Today I think people still try to convince others using media. I try not to be influenced by this. Third, I now want to stand up for what is right. I learned in the Netherlands the Nazis made the Jews wear a yellow Star of David so that everyone knew who the Jews were. This seems so unfair to me. Why didn't more people speak up and say that it was wrong? Also, I learned that after World War I, many people believed Hitler when he said it was the Jews' fault that Germany lost the war. That is wrong. Why didn't more people say that's impossible for one small group of people to decide the outcome of the war? Fourth, I learned that I should help people in need. I am very inspired by what he's and the others did for Anne and her family. The sacrifices they made to help the people in hiding inspired me to do things in my life to make the world a better place for others. I would like to find a way to make sacrifices in my life to make the world a better place. Last year, I helped 6th graders learn on their trip to DC, and I'm going to do the same thing again this year. It is important for me to teach others. In conclusion, I would like to end by telling you what the Holocaust feels like to me. The Holocaust is like a scar that will stay with me for the rest of my life. It will always be with me, reminding me of the lessons I have learned and hopefully will never forget. Every time I learn something new about the Holocaust, I will be reminded of what I have learned. I hope to make the world a better place because of what I have learned.